Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Elizabeth Cohen, and I'm going to be your instructor for this class, which is social marketing. Can you see that? And I just want to give you a really quick introduction to what this class is, just to make sure that you are, I guess, in the type of class that you want to be in. A lot of people think that when I say social marketing, I mean social media marketing, and I do not. Social marketing is an area of practice and study that developed long before social media did. Really, it is all about how we can, if you will, sell different types of pro social behaviors or health behaviors, environmental behaviors, in the same way that we sell products. So, social marketing is applying the principles of, I guess you could say, regular marketing. Jolene, please don't do that. We have, these are, Jolene, come here. Come say hi. This is one of your co-students. Um, it is all about trying to, apply the principles that we've used to sell, um, products and things like branding to trying to brand or sell different types of attitudes and behaviors that can improve people's well-being or benefit the world in some way. So social marketing is something that's often applied to public health issues. Nonprofit organizations will use social marketing strategies to try to influence people's attitudes and behaviors about everything from things like, really anything, vaccines or hopefully like pro vaccine. I'm biased, but yeah. So, like, how do we convince people to get vaccinated? How do we convince people to eat better or lifestyle things, exercise more? How do we convince people to adopt instead of shop? And I definitely shopped, so I'm bad at this. You can tell, but the point is, there's all different types of causes that are designed to not necessarily generate any sort of profit, and not political either, not necessarily designed to help somebody win a campaign, but instead to persuade a large group of people to change their attitudes and behaviors in some way that is beneficial to either themselves or other people. So that's social marketing. It often does fall under the realm of health communication, to sort of give you an idea. Um, so what this class is, it's designed to walk you through the steps of developing a social marketing campaign. Every week, we're going to be going through a step of the social marketing process. And the thing I need to say, like in person, is follow the process. I don't know if anybody watches The Prophet, Marcus Lemonis. He's always like, trust the process, trust this process too. A lot of times people take this class and they're like, oh, I'm going to do a campaign on, I don't know, Jolene, no, ma'am. I'm going to do a campaign on eliminating polio, and I'm going to target this audience, and I'm going to do ask them to do this behavior or whatever, or I'm going to get rid of malaria, and so I'm going to target this audience and tell them to, destroy all the mosquitoes or whatever. I don't know. But I'm always having to say, like, slow down. Like, the social marketing process is a really neat evidence based strategy for how to develop a campaign, and it's got to go step by step. First, you have to figure out, like, what is your purpose, and then you can pick your audience. And only after you pick your audience do you know what behavior you want to ask them to do. So you kind of it's easy to get ahead of yourself because you say, I want to do a campaign that convinces people to donate blood. Which, okay, great, but that's a behavior. You can't figure out like what behavior you want people to do until you think about like what the problem is you're trying to solve and who is the target audience for the behavior you want to do. That is a really, really, and I am sorry, overly long way of saying the class is designed to just take you through the steps one by one, to kind of focus on the minutia so that by the end you can kind of see the bigger picture of how these campaigns actually get developed. So each week, this isn't the type of class that this really isn't the type of class where if you skip one week, we're on to a different topic and you can just sort of like, jump in then. It's really builds on itself. So each week you do one step, and then because of what you did in that one step, you can do the next step. So that's kind of how it works. Most weeks you're going to have like a little worksheet where you fill out your ideas for what steps you want to do. Jolene, please, this is, um, this is pretty much how it works. She's young, but okay, not right now. Um, I know actually it's like really annoying sometimes when professors do this when they like spend time with their animals, but I think some people find it entertaining, and I'm kind of like, well, I'm gonna appeal to that to the least common denominator of like, here, if you can't pay attention to what I'm saying, let's take a quick animal break. Anyway, so each okay, sorry, I should actually take a step back. So the first thing you're gonna need to do, and you'll start this week, is start thinking about a topic that you want to focus on for the rest of the summer. And each week you're gonna do like a step in a campaign to try to like figure out how you can solve whatever problem you identify at the very beginning, going through the steps of the campaign. And each week is going to be a new step. Most weeks you're going to be submitting some sort of worksheet. The first couple weeks, I'll warn you, they start kind of slow, so don't be deceived. The first couple weeks, it's like a quick quiz and like a hi, how are you doing, introduction post. And then in the third week, we're going to do at least part of a SWOT analysis, and you're going to have to do a little bit of research. The assignment's going to take you a little bit more time. So, yeah, I should actually warn you, some assignments are more time consuming than others. Some of them like take nothing, some of them take like a lot of heavy lifting, and I'll try to like let you know on the I usually post like announcements each week to kind of like give you an idea of what it's going to, look like. But yeah, and then another important thing on this note about the assignments sort of building on one another, you really need my feedback before you can go on to do your next assignments. So I'm going to try, all of your assignments are going to be due. No, Jolene, ma'am, stop. Stop it, please. All of your assignments are going to be due on Sunday evenings, and I'm going to do my best to grade them and give you feedback on Monday, latest probably like Tuesday morning. So that way you can take my feedback and integrate them for the rest of the assignments, because it's kind of like I said, you can't move forward unless you got like, you can't go to the next step unless you have the first step in place. So that's going to be really important. And there's a couple of assignments where you literally will need my approval before you can sort of move on. Sometimes it's helpful if we can just talk on the phone about these things. I really like asynchronous classes for a lot of reasons, as I'm sure you do. But the downside is of course, we don't actually get those synchronous back and forth like feedback sessions. And sometimes my feedback might seem like kind of crazy. So I mean, it's not crazy, but it's just, sometimes you can't articulate things in writing the same way you can talking. So sometimes it might help if you're like stuck in a place to just like, hey, could we like talk for 10, 15 minutes and just sort of like, um, shoot some ideas back and forth or troubleshoot some sort of idea that you had. And that's pretty common in this class. So please, if you need like a little time to talk to me, please don't hesitate to reach out for that. So yeah, I mentioned the book before, so I love the hot pink book. Sadly, and I shouldn't say sad because it's like good. First of all, this book was written by like Nancy Lee and Philip Cutler. They're like social marketing gurus, and this book really is like top notch. It's a good textbook because they have like these real world examples from campaigns that they've done. They know I have a lot of health comm experience, and I've done some formative research for campaigns, but like I don't have as much knowledge in my pinky as these guys do, or I don't have as much knowledge in my whole head as these guys have in their pinky. So just this is a wealth of knowledge and good examples too if you're struggling to think of what you want to focus your project on. Which, by the way, I don't think I said that. Each week we're going to be doing these steps in the social marketing process, and the outcome is supposed to be at the end of the semester you have this final campaign proposal, basically. So that's what I mean, like you're going to have this project that you're just sort of building up to all summer, putting in each little component. And the steps are outlined in your textbook. Because it's a summer, I'm not going to go through all of them. We're going to do like most of them, but we have less time, and it's the summertime. So anyway, so what I was going to say about this book, sorry, I go on tangents. This is not the most current edition as of, I think, April. But I haven't adjusted like all of the assignments yet. Like I'm gonna have to update this class like with the new edition, and I don't even have it yet. So for now, just get this sixth edition, and you should be fine. And anytime I reference like chapters or whatever, it'll be referring to this book. If you have the newer edition or even an older edition, you'll be fine. The biggest thing that changes, again, besides page numbers and stuff like that, are some examples and things like that. But you can pretty much get by and understand what you're supposed to do if you have any of their books. Again, that's how they just make money. Like they come out with like a new thing every 3 years, a new edition. And I'm not saying that they're not lovely, but it just is another headache for professors that have to restructure their class. So that's the downside. Um, so yeah, so you definitely need the book, although I do think you can rent it if you want. Um, let's see, what else? I think that really covers all the highlights that I wanted to sort of cover with you. Just give you sort of an overview of what the class is going to be like. Really emphasize again the fact that you're going to have to do one step before the other. So make sure you take your feedback each week before you start working on your other assignment. Um, and the other thing I'll mention is if you have been able to get through this video, there's so many more where that comes from. I do every week. Oh boy, she's really frustrated. Soon, I'm almost done. Um, I do every week have these lecture summaries for the content, and they're exciting. I've been making them for the past 10 years, and the different videos come from different years. You can see me with different hairstyles, and my weight fluctuates, and I'm in different offices. Although, to be fair, if you can't even stand to look at my face, you can probably get by just listening, because I don't really use PowerPoints or anything. My point is really to hit the highlights of the things that you need to know in order to complete your worksheets for each week. That said, you probably don't have to listen to them if you don't want to. It's more of a supplemental thing. Some people find it more helpful than reading. Other people find the textbook more helpful. Some people like to do both of them, but they're available for you. Again, apologies for the different contexts. It's just kind of like, as I've been teaching this class over the years, sometimes I'll like want to redo a lecture, and sometimes like the one from 2016 was like right on the mark. So yeah, you just get to see all different, you get to see me in all different locations. So, anyway, on that note, I'll just say that, I don't have like big vacation plans or anything like that during the summer. There may be some days that I will email you earlier in the week and just say like, hey, everybody, there's going to be 2 days that I might not be available on email or something like that. But for the most part, I really am around this summer and available if you need any help with anything. I just ask that you give me, start by contacting me. Excuse me, Jolene. Patience, please. Start by contacting me via email, and we can just set up a time to touch base however you want. We could do a Zoom session. I prefer phone only because I kind of like to walk and talk, but also, like you have to get like at least half dressed on Zoom, and it is the summertime. And I'm not as keen to get dressed from the waist below. I mean, I have clothes on right now, but they are definitely shorts. Not the most professional attire. But if you put earrings on, it's like all of a sudden you're like much more profesh. But I am around and I am available. Again, I just ask for you to just like reach out and give me a little bit of notice. And to kick things off, if you will, the only thing you really need to do this week is introduce yourselves to me on the discussion board. And actually, I can't remember now, actually, off the top of my head, if the discussion board's graded or not. But even if it's not, the other thing I really want you to do is tell me about some social marketing topics that you might want to. You don't have to commit to them yet, but anything that you are thinking like, yeah, I might want to spend my summer thinking about how to fix this problem. And that will give me the opportunity to give you some initial feedback before you turn in your first worksheet. So that's really important. And please feel free to comment on other people's posts too. I know a lot of you have had classes together before because you're in the same cohort, but I do think we also have some people from outside of the department. It's a small class. It'll be very intimate. So don't feel like people are ignoring you. I think there's only like 5 or 6 of you. So if you get 5 responses, that means you're pretty popular. Yeah, and That will just be an initial sort of like, I'll give you some feedback of like, that's not really going to work, or any of those topics would be great. If you want, you can go ahead and start working on your worksheet, which is 3 weeks in advance. And but just wait until maybe you get some more feedback on that topic for me on the discussion board. And as I mentioned earlier, there's also a syllabus quiz. So there's, and you'll get 10 points for that. You can take it as many times as you need, but take it until you get all the questions right, because that is the point. I will only give you 10 points if you get 100% correct on that. You just need to go through eCampus and look at your syllabus and answer the questions and just make sure that you have a good sense of everything. But that's it. Okay, I made it in, it's almost 16 minutes if I don't stop talking soon. I was hoping to make it 15, but oh well. Okay, so that is it. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to this summer, and I will see you on the discussion board if I don't hear from you sooner. So thank you. See you soon. Bye.